Hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Neon 1000, my continuing exploration of this book, given away with Neon magazine in the late 90s. 1000 essential movies on video, split up into numerous categories such as disaster movies, post-apocalyptic movies, Italian movies, etc, etc. Today we're going to be running down the buddy movie section. First up, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot from 1974, which sees Clint Eastwood's veteran bank robber team up with young thief Jeff Bridges. Bridges convinces Clint to assemble his old posse to commit one last heist, rob a stagecoach, assemble some flat pack. Also stars George Kennedy, Jeffrey Lewis and Gary Busey. The Last Boy Scout from 1991, directed by Tony Top Gun Scott and written by Shane, that one that tells the jokes in Predator Black. Basically sees Bruce Willis's slightly washed up PI. That's a stretch for Bruce Willis, isn't it? Team up with Damon Wayans' ex-footballer to basically find out what happens to his girlfriend. Wayans' girlfriend, not Bruce Willis's girlfriend. Bruce Willis was supposed to be protecting the girlfriend, but he didn't. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid from 1969, starring Paul Newman and Robert Redford as the two infamous outlaws, basically committing their final heist. Not seen this one, but like most people, I am aware of the final scene, or literally the final shot. These are some postcards that were given away with an issue of Neon, the July 1997 issue. So they basically depicted famous scenes from famous Neon-approved movies. So you've got Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid there. The only other one I've still got is this one from Reservoir Dogs. I don't think I actually knew what the other movies were at the time, so I didn't keep those. But I think it was a set of 4, possibly. 48 Hours from 1982, where Nick Nolte's rough around the edges cop teamed up with wisecracking Eddie Murphy, who he had released from prison for 48 hours to help him catch some much larger crooks. Not, big crooks. Big crooks. Not fat crooks. Tall crooks. Big time crooks. But it is basically Nick Nolte being a bit racist for about an hour and a half. Not really my cup of tea, to be honest. Midnight Run from 1988. Robert De Niro's bounty hunter chases after ex-mafia accountant Charles Gronin. Whatever happened to that guy? The pair are chased by mafia, something else, dinosaur. The pair are chased by the FBI, the mafia, and more bounty hunters. Fuck it, that'll do. Bestseller from 1987, which I actually covered in the previous video, so you can go back and watch that one. Obviously, wait till you finish watching this one. That's alright. Don't mind. Brian Dennehy plays a cop/novelist who is asked by a hitman to basically write his life story. Thelma and Louise from 1991, which basically sees two besties go on a road trip out of the blue, and it takes a bit of a dark turn when Louise ends up killing a man who tried to rape Thelma. They basically go on the run and hang out with young Brad Pitt. So Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon, who play Thelma and Louise, were both nominated for Best Actress at that year's Oscars. Skin Game from 1971, a western comedy where James Garner repeatedly sells Louis Gossett Jr. as a slave and then immediately helps him escape, and the two split the proceeds. Another Jeff Bridges buddy movie, this time Cutter's Way from 1981, although the book does list it as 1982. Bridges plays this drifter who believes he has witnessed a businessman dispose of a body. So he goes and tells his mate John Hurd, and the two decide to investigate. This was really poorly marketed at the time, so not a lot of people saw it. But John Hurd's disabled Vietnam veteran is often considered his best role. And finally, The Man Who Would Be King from 1975, which saw lifelong friends Michael Caine and Sean Connery appear in their only film opposite each other. They did also appear in A Bridge Too Far, but that was part of a giant ensemble cast, and I don't think they actually shared any screen time in that one. The film follows two bored soldiers who decide to leave British-ruled India in search of a country called Karifistan. Basically a country that has not seen a white man since the days of Alexander the Great. And they hope this will let them take a position of power and get some money. The one to avoid here is Scarecrow from 1973, which sees two drifters, ex-con Gene Hackman and sailor Al Pacino, travel the country together. Not really sure why this made their avoid list. Previous movies from the lists I've already covered were things like Species, which is mostly garbage, and the Free Willy movies. Movies that did not fall within the neon aesthetic. This, however, has a IMDb score of 7.2 and a Rotten Tomatoes score of 77. It also won what is now called the Palme d'Or at Cannes. So I'm not really sure what they were looking for, but they did not like this movie for some reason. Okay, so that's all I've got time for today. What is your favourite buddy movie? Drop it in the comments below. But for now, so long, farewell.